We're going to talk about physical vitality, but before we do that, let's talk about, the problem with low energy and why so many of us suffer from low energy is because we use so many of these artificial stimulants. Hey there, I'm Dr. Del Millers, and this is Energize Your Life After 50. You see, the goal of this podcast is to help you answer one simple question, and that is, how do you want to live the next chapter in your life? Do you want to keep it as it is, or do you want more? Do you want to be better, fitter, stronger, healthier without meds, more confidence, more sex appeal? Do you want to get your mojo back? Maybe you want to be the you you've always thought you could be. So each week we'll look at simple ways to intentionally create your next chapter, prioritizing your health, your physicality, your emotional and spiritual well-being, as well as looking and feeling your best. Are you up for the challenge? Then let's get moving. All right, everybody, Dr. Del Millers here with PersonalFitness.com. Hope you're doing great out there. Today I want to talk to you about the myth of low energy. You hear a lot of people say, I'm so low energy. I don't have any energy. I'm so tired all the time. I just don't feel energized, right? And obviously, I've got a book called Energize Your Life, which is about the 7 pillars of how to activate the 7 pillars of positive energy to make you feel alive. That book is available at Amazon, by the way. Look in the show notes. You'll find a link to my Amazon author page. But I hear that quite a bit. I have no energy. I'm so low energy. It's like I feel so run down, and it's actually a misnomer, right? Because you're not low in energy. Why? Because would you believe that the average human body contains enough stored energy to fill a 1-ton battery? That's right, a 1-ton battery. There is enough energy in your body with all the reactions and all the synapses that are firing and all the electrical connections that are being made, right? Everything that happens in your body is energy. Your body is just transforming one form of energy to another. So there's enough energy in the human body to fill a 1-ton battery, and the problem is we just don't know how to access that energy to our advantage. By the way, this makes me think of The Matrix, right? Do you think of The Matrix? When I think of The Matrix, how it says that the machines, in Machine City, they were able to harvest energy through the human body, right? That's how they harvested energy. And that is not actually too far from the truth, because you think about it. A 1-ton battery, that's a pretty big battery, right? That's a lot of energy. That's a lot of energy that we have access to. So what we often lack isn't energy. We lack the ability to access what I call the many sources of energy that are available to us, right? We're not going to feel physically energized, for example, by sitting on our butts all day. You sit for 8 hours a day. You're not going to feel physically energized. Such a sedentary lifestyle is just really contrary to the laws of energy. For one thing, we have more energy than we can even ever tap into. So let's talk about that today. But before we get started, I'd like to take this time to remind you of a few important resources that are available to you. Number one, my free masterclass. The top 3 things you must do to lose weight and keep it off. Okay, if you're struggling with weight as an issue, then you must check out that masterclass. There's also my webinar, Get Your Sexy Back. If you're ready to truly transform your body and your life, then please sign up for the webinar. It's free. You also have access to a free health strategy call with me when you're ready to move forward in a powerful way. I also have a vault of coaching videos at my website, PersonalFitness.com. You can find all of that, sign up for all of that at my website, PersonalFitness.com. And lastly, please consider subscribing to this podcast. There is a link in the episode notes. And thank you. Thank you for being here. I really do appreciate you. Here's one of those laws of physics, folks. A body at rest contains an abundance of what we call potential or stored energy. But you see, in order to use that stored energy, we have to first find a way to set that body into motion. We have to set that body into motion. A body at rest, if you're remaining at rest, well, guess what? You don't have access to all of that energy that is stored within the body. And this requires some form of what I call activation energy. I talk about this in my book, Energize Your Life. To tap into that energy, we require some activation energy. In chemistry, activation energy is the minimum amount of energy required to speed up a reaction. So if your body's at rest, it's going to take some amount of activation energy in the form of movement to make you feel energized and alive. You have to actually get up and move that body. Energy is in the body, right? So a sedentary body, doesn't have access to much energy because that energy is stored and at rest. In order to unlock that energy, you have to set that body in motion. And then you will have access to all that potential energy to utilize it as no longer potential energy, but kinetic energy, energy of motion, right? Kinetic energy of motion. And we use energy of motion to do the things we do, to go about our daily lives, to be productive at work, to have our brains be as productive as possible. We use kinetic energy, the energy of motion for that. But most of us, we sit so much, we spend so much time on our butts, we're so sedentary, right? Even those of us, some of us who exercise, and I call them active couch potatoes because there are a lot of people who exercise and then they go to the office and sit for 6 to 8 hours a day. Well, you're just an active couch potato, right? You don't have access to all the energy that is stored in your body. So activation energy is usually supplied by a catalyst. Physically, your catalyst can be any form of movement or exercise. This helps you to access the energy of physical vitality. Physical vitality. Now, there's another one, physical vitality. We're going to talk about physical vitality, but before we do that, let's talk about, the problem with low energy and why so many of us suffer from low energy is because we use so many of these artificial stimulants as energy boosters, quote unquote, energy boosters, but they're not energy boosters. They're actually energy suckers because they're preventing the body from tapping into its natural sources of energy. Your body can't tap into your potential energy if you're shutting down its ability to do that. And that's what happens when you're using things like caffeine every day as your source of energy. Well, why would your body tap into its own energy when you're artificially stimulating it, right? It's not going to. Energy drinks and all of the things we use throughout the day to boost, quote unquote, our energy, those are artificial stimulants, and they just shut down the body's natural ability to tap into its own energy reserves. So in order to do that, we have to learn how to tap into our own reserves. We've got to get rid of all those artificial stimulants that we're using and learning how to change that potential or stored energy into energy of motion, kinetic energy. And we do that, folks, by supplying a catalyst. And that catalyst is something as simple as standing up for 5 to 10 minutes every hour. You see, the body has an energy cycle, so to speak. And the body's energy cycle, like all life, goes in cycles. Nothing goes forever. The body has an energy cycle. It has an energy rhythm. And that energy cycle goes for about 90 minutes. Right? So you can focus for about 90 minutes and do really focused, concentrated work for about 90 minutes. And after about 90 minutes, you're going to achieve an energy low, because that's the cycle. You go from a high, you go to a low. And that's the sign that, okay, well, it is time to take a little, what I call, energy break. When you take an energy break, you give the body a chance to recharge itself, right? You supply a catalyst. You take an energy break and you supply some simple movement. Getting up and standing up, walking around, you're stretching, putting some movement in the body. Well, that helps it to tap into that potential energy, that stored energy, and that fuels you up again for the next cycle. The next cycle that lasts another 90 minutes. So you can work concentratedly for another 90 minutes, and then you're going to have another energy low. That is natural. But what we do is we try to prevent those energy lows with artificial stimulants. Oh, excuse me. We get to that low, and what do? Oh, we run and we have some caffeine, or we have an energy drink, or we have some sugar. We use something to boost ourselves, to force ourselves to push through that energy low, when all you really need is an energy break. Give your body an energy break. Give your body a little catalyst in the form of simple movement, breathing, stretching, moving around, just moving your body a little. It doesn't take very much. It really doesn't take very much, folks. And that's all it takes. So just remember, your body goes in, your body's energy goes in cycles. And that cycle lasts for about 90 minutes. And after that 90 minutes, you will be doing yourself a favor if you were to take an energy break and learn how to recharge your energy, learn how to tap into all the stored energy, the potential energy that you have access to. Here's the other thing. I thought I'd talk about physical vitality. In my book, I talk about physical vitality. You know, physical energy is the energy that you have access to on a daily basis to move and do things. But vitality, vitality, that sense of feeling alive, but that's your life force energy. People with a lot of life force, very high levels of vitality, right? They've got a high level of life force energy. And to increase that life force energy, that vitality, well, you need three things. You need choice, connection, and competence. And that's what people don't realize, right? When you have choice, when you're able to make choices, when you are able to make choices for how you spend your time, what you're doing on a daily basis, you will increase your vitality. You will increase your life force. You will feel more alive. You will feel more fulfilled. And that is a major source of energy. So when you have choice in how you do the things you do, choice in how you work, how you do your job, people who have choice in how they work feel a lot more alive than those who do not, those who have to follow a certain prescribed way of doing things. So you need choice. You need connection. We need to feel like we are part of something bigger than ourselves. Human beings, we need connection. We strive for connectedness. When we feel alone, it sucks our energy. When we feel like we're a part of something larger than ourselves, it energizes us. It gives us energy. So when we feel connected to the greater whole, even just connection to your organization, to your workplace, to other people, right? But we need to feel that connection. We need connectedness in order to feel alive. When we don't have that, again, it robs us of that vital life force energy, vitality. Make sense? Now we also need competence in order to feel alive. Right? When we feel like we are doing things that we're competent at, right? We're able to do things that we are at the edge of our competence. That's when we feel alive. That's when we get into this state of flow. Many people have written about this state. There's a lot of science behind this, the state of flow. Getting to that state of flow where you just feel like you're connected, and you're just flowing. I don't know how else to put it. Things are just easy. You're just in that, in the groove of things. Kind of like when I play tennis, and I get to that point where it's a challenging match, and I'm really concentrated, and I'm playing at my best, and everything is just grooving. That's being in that state of flow. A musician who's just at his or her peak, and they're in the groove, right? They're creating. That's that state of flow. When you're creating, when you're in that place where you feel like, yes, I'm flowing with this. I guess the best way to describe this state is, being in the zone. When you're fully involved, and you're energized, and you're just in that pocket, you're in the zone. You just feel like you can do anything, right? That's competence. And you need those three states regularly. You need to be in those three states regularly in order to feel fully alive, in order to feel that level of vitality, right? In order to have access to vitality, in order to improve your vitality and to grow your vitality. If you don't have those three, if you don't have choice and connection and competence, then you're rarely going to feel like you're in that zone. You're rarely going to feel like you're fully alive. And that's what it takes. And that's where that you're in touch with that life force energy. And that life force energy is the central source of energy that moves us forward. Right? It's not physical energy. It's not the energy we get from exercise, or the energy we get from moving our body, or having a restful night's sleep. Those are important too. Those improve our physical energy. But vitality or life force energy is bigger than that. That is what gives us momentum to strive for whatever goals, or whatever we're striving for in life. That's what gives us the momentum to feel alive. And when we feel alive, we will be more energized. Make sense? So I hope you take the opportunity to recognize, like I've said before, that your energy goes in cycles, and that energy cycle lasts about 90 minutes, and then we need to take an energy break in order to recharge the battery, so to speak, in order to tap into the battery. We need to give our body a catalyst in order to tap into that energy and change that potential energy to kinetic energy of motion. We need to start working on creating vitality, which is life force energy, which is what we need to propel us forward. Our life force energy is what keeps us motivated. It's what keeps us moving and striving towards our goals. When we have choice, connection, and competence, that is what we need to improve our vitality. All right, my friends, that's all I've got for you today. I hope this has been helpful. Remember, you are not low energy. You just need to figure out how to tap into that enormous source of energy you've got, enough to fill a 1-ton battery. That's a lot of energy. So you've got that at your disposal every day. And in my book, Energize Your Life, I talk about the 7 pillars of positive energy, 7 different sources of positive energy that we have the ability to tap into. And physical vitality is only one of those. Okay, passion and purpose is another source. When we're living on purpose and passionate about the things that we're doing on a daily basis, that's a source of energy. So there are all these different sources of energy, energy that we have access to, that we just need to learn how to tap into them. And when you do, you will never use the excuse again that I am so low energy, because you use that excuse because you don't understand the enormous well of energy that you have access to. on a daily basis. All right, well, you take care. And as I always say before I leave, may the best of your todays be the worst of your tomorrows. Catch you next time. You've been listening to Energize Your Life After 50 with me, your host, Dr. Del Millers. For all the resources mentioned in this episode, you can check the show notes or go to my website at personalfitness.com. There, you can sign up for the free masterclass, the free webinar, a free health strategy call, and have access to my vault of coaching videos, all for free. So check out the website at personalfitness.com. See you next time.